let me down. Let me down.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am making crocheted synthetic dreadlocks. So these are some that I've already made in the week. I've got 3 different colours here, they're absolutely stunning. But this is your normal crocheted, well, I say normal, I can't actually find many videos of the way that I do it. So anyway, you will need 100% Kanekalon. This particular Kanekalon is from Cyberlock shop in the colour Behemoth. Stunning. It's like a purpley pinky thing to baby pink. You'll need a comb and a crochet hook. So I have 2 different crochet hooks here depending on the colour of hair, to be perfectly honest. The darker the colour, I find you can use a thicker crochet hook, which makes it quicker because the holes are less visible. But if you've got lighter hair, then I'd advise using a thinner crochet hook. So I use a 0.75mm, and you will need whatever kind of rig setup you want. I personally prefer, with single-ended dreads, I prefer to use a hanger. You'll see why in a sec. But if I'm making double-ended dreads, then I prefer to use I use the band off a dressing gown tied to the back of a chair, because I just find it's easier to clip the other half of the double-ended. I'll do a double-ended video probably later on in this week. Actually, I'm making this set for my brother's girlfriend, so she wants a brown, and I'm going to do double-ended on the top, single-ended on the bottom. She's going to have cute flashes of the colours that you've just seen before. So we're going to do full length today. So here I'm just sectioning off the amount of hair that I want to use. And I'm going to just show you how to shuffle the hair twice. So shuffling the hair is just where we get a nice tapered end instead of a blunt edge. So you just split the hair directly down the middle and then layer it over the top. So you just layer it slightly like off center, and then split it again and layer it the other way backwards again. And then you'll get a tapered end instead of just stop. And I think it's much easier to get a more natural look on your ends if they're tapered. You can do a lot more things with them as well. I know some people braid their ends, other people fold their ends back up and crochet it up. Anyway, this is why I like to use a hanger, because especially this hanger, I just lap one end onto the hair and the other end onto my big toe, and I can sit here, my TV is directly in front of me. So I've been watching New Girl, so we're going back home. Anybody who's made dreads before will know. I tend to not back comb my dreads as much as other dread makers seem to. I don't like the stiffness of the hair when you're trying to crochet. I find it's a lot easier to get lumps in it if you back comb the shit out of it, as opposed to just back combing it enough. I mean, some people do that standing up technique, where if you hold it at the base and stand it up, and if it stands, it's good. If it flops over, it's bad. I don't do that. It's just far too much. I think it's too much unnecessary work. You're going to get the sturdiness once it's boiled, you know. So back comb the shit out of it. You see I'm back comb, like a lunatic. I like to give it a little palm roll. I feel that you can really feel where the lumps are if you give it a good palm roll. It helps mat it together, make natural dreads as well. So for me, the palm rolling is quite a natural thing to do. You'll be able to feel within the dread where the lumps are, where it's too thin, where it's not thick enough, etc. And it's the same thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Sorry, my voice is going. Not good. And then once you've finished back combing, we'll get onto the crochet part. The crochet part's fairly straightforward. I've seen there's a lot of different crocheted methods. This is the one that I prefer. You get a natural look but also a tidy look at the same time, so you can still go to work with this look. So you want to stab the living shit out of it with a crochet hook. So you want your needle pointing upwards. It's the most effective way. I will warn you, with a 0.75 needle, you will stab yourself, it will hurt, and you will be cross with yourself for being a fucking moron. But just stab the shit out of it. Once you've gone all the way down, top to bottom, just twist the dread, do it again, and keep going all the way around the dread and all along the length of the dread. And this does a number of things. So firstly, it helps mat the dread together on the inside, so you're going to get that thickness, you're going to get that density. It's also going to give you outside texture, as opposed to when you do the twist and seal method, that gives you little to no texture. This one, full of texture, full of realness, it looks very natural. Don't get me wrong, I like both styles, I make both styles, I wear both styles. This one is more, I don't want to say hippie, but hippie. I like it. So yeah, stab it all around. The other thing that this does, it gives you loads of little wispy bits, and those wispy bits is what we're going to use to close it up. So once you feel like you've stabbed it enough, just kind of check down the length of it, make sure it's all evenly dense, and then give it another palm roll. Palm roll all down the bottom. For some reason my thing's playing double speed, there we go. And then feel the thickness again all the way down, make sure it's all the same density, you're not getting thin bits. Because it is tiring work. I mean, each dread takes you anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour and a half, depending on if you've got to mix colours, if you're blending colours, etc, etc. I like to backcomb an entire pack because of the way I do my method. It gives me the freedom to stand up and like make a dread in a different, and go downstairs and make some dreads downstairs. There's people who have rigs set up to ironing boards like Rivet Licker. I don't think she's called that anymore, but her setup used to be on an ironing board, and I was like, that's adorable, I love it. So anyway, you want to essentially rub the dread. You all know how that looked. You want to, I'm such a child. You want to get all the wispy bits back up after you've palm rolled them down to recreate that texture. And then I like to grab them as a group, no wider than my thumb, because that's as much as I can hold and wrap around. And you wrap it around the dread until it forms a small amount of hair. Shove your crochet hook in, twist the hair around the crochet hook, and then pull the crochet hook back out. Hopefully all the hair will come with it. Sometimes it doesn't, you've got to do it again. I see a lot of comments on other people's methods who do this, and they're like, my crochet hook never holds onto the hair. And I'm like, well then just keep trying, you idiot. Like, why does this need to be spoken? If you can't work that out, maybe you shouldn't be making dreads. Is that rude? Quite possibly, but yeah, fight me. So you want to do that all the way down the dread. I'm actually not going to show you how to do the ends today. Not because I'm a bitch, but because it's late at night and I'm not getting a boiling pan out, and I like to do my ends right before I seal them, just to make sure the ends don't pop out. So I like to do all of my ends whilst I'm boiling. So I'll do an end, boil it, or I've got hiccups, I'm sorry, while that one's boiling or resting, I do the next end, boil it. I will put a link to the Dreadlocks shop in the description below. You should definitely check them out. They have a massive range of colours and they're amazing. Their customer service is fantastic. They used to send out hair with little bag, they don't anymore, but they used to send out hair with like a little bag of sweets in it as well. I was like, oh, that's amazing. But yeah, they're pretty fucking good. So once you kind of get towards the end before you do the ends, you'll see if there's any bits that have a different thickness, and you can easily go over them. I found with the crochet method, if there's a bit that you don't think's as good as you want it to be, you can go over it. Whilst you can reseal a dreadlock in the twist and seal method, if you've got a bit that's a little bit too thick, sometimes they just don't want to seal. They're just like, nah fam, not for me, I'm not sealing, go away. Whereas I don't find that with crochet method, you can just go over it again, try again. I haven't worn dreadlocks in a year. Last time I put dreadlocks in was last February, so I haven't worn dreadlocks in a year. I really miss them. And doing this crochet set, as soon as I've got this crochet set done, unless I get a commission, I am gonna make myself a new set of crochet dreads, and they're gonna look amazing. So I also wanted to add here, you can see if there's ever a bit where there's not enough wispy bits, you can just restab it, twist it around, and carry on as you were. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. And look for the next video with me sealing these dreads, doing the ends, and also the double-ended one as well. So yeah, thank you, bye.
If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly, let me down.